They're thinking as Apostle talking about the experience on yesterday. It was so amazing. First, I thank God for the spirit of obedience that He have gave me to keep self out the way. And He say go, I go. But the experience on yesterday, it was so amazing. I was telling the Apostle, I said, I depend on the Lord. I depend on Jehovah God. He said He will supply all of your needs according to His riches and His glory. And on yesterday, I was here with my grandboys. Deacon was here. And people just started coming up, volunteering. Other organizations started coming up, volunteering, donating, rolling their sleeves up, helping fold clothes, helping make sacks. I said, look at God. I said, look at God. As long as you is faithful and doing what He said do, He will provide. That's the truth. I'm a living witness. I'm glad we was here to have the door open. And like you just said, next Saturday, be here again, have that door open. Because you be so amazed of the people in this area, how they come down with tears in their eyes. This one young lady, let me tell you this before I sit down. She was homeless. She walked up to me crying with tears in her eyes. And I stood there and I looked at this young lady and I asked her, can I help you? She said, I need help. I need prayer. She said, I'm homeless. She said, this is not my life I'm living. And I told her to come inside this sanctuary. And we sit down and I began to listen to this girl's story. How she just came here to Georgia to live, but she's been having a hard time getting on her feet. She had a bag of clothes in her hand and she was crying on my shoulder. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this young lady. And I told her, I said, this is not your life. I said, you are me and I am you. Because I was in your position 3.5 years. I never forget sleeping out there on side of the street in abandoned houses. I will never forget where He had brought me from for this ministry, for this day, to feed the hungry, to clothe the homeless, to comfort them, to hug them, to pray with them. I'm on a mission for God. That young lady sit right there and she was crying with tears in her eyes. She said, can you help me? I told her I'd give her all the resources I can get. I told her just come here. I told her just make it into here and just sit in the back. One day she's going to walk through that door. She's going to walk through that door. And she's going to sit. And that's going to be the beginning of her life turning around. Because I'm a living witness that God can do it. He will do it. As long as we stay obedient to His assignment that He have gave us in our life, He will be there for you. To God be that glory.
Come on, give her a hand. Come on, give her a hand. Stay obedient to the assignment. God is going to do it. Amen. Let's give her another hand. Amen. Well, as we get ready for this amazing woman of God. Amen. Some of y'all may know her, some of y'all may not know her, but I've been knowing her all my life. She's my best friend. Amen. My favorite person in the world. Amen. I wouldn't trade her for no one. She's a wife. She's a mother. She's a grandmother. A great grandmother. Amen. She's a pastor. She's a first lady. She's a prophetess. You got a lot of titles, girl. She's the love of my life. She's a woman that loves God. A woman that loves God's people. Amen. I want to introduce to some and present to others Pastor Latasha Howard. Come on,